Gonna kiss up and rub up and fill up. Kiss up and rub up and fill up on you all night.
Hey, hey, hey! How much do you pay for rent?
I don't pay rent. I live out of my Subaru. Want to see it?
Yeah.
Let's go. This is Forrest, the Subaru Forester, and this is my home on wheels. This is my pantry. This is my stove, and this is where I cook. This is where I sleep. And to give you an idea of how much space there is.
Do you want that now? Yeah. Oh yeah, that's way easier to get them. Hello.
This is my cargo box. This is where I keep all of my outdoor gear. In my passenger seat is where I keep everything that I need readily accessible. So that's my camera bag, my hiking backpack, my toiletries, and my fanny pack. These are my neighbors today.
Man, these property lines are tight around here.
That is a really cool rig you got there.
Oh, thank you. Your neighbors are so nice.
Behind the driver's side is where I keep all of my clothes. That's my dirty laundry. In total, I paid $23,000 for my Subaru Forester. I paid $1,000 for the cargo box, and I paid about $200 for the conversion.
You guys what this looks like. All right, so I have my bed here, right? All right, so I have this towel laying out from last night because of the thing. I have this has my laptop, and then I have my backpack, my cooler, and it's 10 times better because I don't have a big container here, so not everything's sitting up anymore. So this is for today. I have this out because of the beach today, and then I have my clothes back here. So all I have to do is just move this to the bed, and then I have access to my clothes. So that's quite nice. This is my pajamas, so I'm not gonna worry about putting those back in a baggie. But we have socks, we have everything in bags, so it makes 10 times nicer. bed, some extra storage. The top's off to show you guys. This is containers of cooking stuff, and then this is the food itself. So this is where I store it.
Now, although I live in my car, I still love to stay on a budget. This way I can make sure that I'm able to stay on my goals towards reaching financial independence.
Like most people who find themselves homeless, I never thought one day I'd be homeless myself. Last year, I was passing out water and food to the homeless community here in Las Vegas. This year, I'm part of that community. Before you go judging another homeless person, just know that 30% of individuals are experiencing homelessness in America. 60% of Americans don't even have enough savings to cover a $500 unplanned expense. And 59% of Americans are just one paycheck away from being homeless themselves, a reality that's been compounded by the effects of COVID. Happy Sunday. So I'm about to head in there, right there, and go to church, and then I'm gonna spend some time with my daughter. We're gonna get something to eat and then probably go to the park. I don't know about you, but I am so thankful that we have a God that is able to do exceedingly abundantly above all that we ask for. Church was great, and I got to take my daughter out to eat. We went to a place called Rolling Smoke. It's a barbecue place here. It's owned by that one guy who owns the famous Las Vegas pawn shop that used to have a reality show. I'm not sure if they still have a reality show, and then she needed some items for school, like some more clothing. She didn't get a lot of stuff for back to school. I'm not gonna lie, I felt such guilt because I wish I could do more for her financially. She watches these videos, but I don't know if she completely understands, like, mom doesn't really have anything. Kids don't get, like, that things cost money. It's kind of funny.
Not only are people living in tents and just living with blankets on the streets of downtown Vancouver, but there's also a growing community of people who are camping on the streets of Vancouver as well. And it's the same issues. A lot of it has to do with sky-high pricing of real estate that has doubled, tripled, quadrupled, and even more so in the last few years, making it almost impossible for middle income or even, and especially lower income people to not only afford to purchase a property, but even rent a property in not only in Vancouver, but the greater Vancouver region as well. It's getting to be so expensive, it's pricing absolutely everybody out of the market. Vancouver is one of the most expensive cities in all of the world, if you can believe that. And so people have resorted to living in all kinds of different campers, pickup trucks, vans, motorhomes, and everything else in between. And it's really sad to see. It looks like anything else you've seen up and down the West Coast, from Seattle to Portland to San Francisco, San Jose, Sacramento, Los Angeles, San Diego. This is what Vancouver has become as well because of sky-high real estate, rising interest rates, and of course the lockdowns of the last 3 years or previous 3 years that resulted in a lot of people closing businesses and firing employees because they couldn't open up their businesses. A lot of those employees, or some of them at least, have now resorted to living in these different types of vehicles in industrial areas all across Vancouver. And this has been happening for a long time now, and it's getting worse and worse and worse. But at least they are covered, at least they're warm inside these units that they're living in. Some of these motorhomes have a lot of room, so it's good that they're able to at least afford to live in these type of vehicles instead of just living out on the streets in a tent, in a sleeping bag. This is much, much better for sure. It might be unsightly, but at least these poor folks have a place where they can call home, and at least they can stay safe, where they can lock a door and rest easy at night.
Bloom, and you are now tuned in to another episode of Living in the Car with me and my dog in Condo Corolla. First things first, gotta always take down my little curtains. And I just love to take time to just love on my dog because life is so short and you just never know. And of course, I gave him a treat, some beef lung tips. He loves it. I always feel like I'm letting him down, but then he just loves on me and I'm like, okay, he still loves me. And yes, I decided to put the curtains back up because it was way too hot. So as you all know, I am in Florida and it is hot AF. My poor baby, my poor little winter wolf. He struggles a bit, so I had to get some ice and some watermelon for him because it was just so hot and I'm just so paranoid. With you guys' donations plus my Ubering money, I was able to take him to day camp and he loved it. He had such a great time. It was such an awesome space and I'm pretty sure I shed a little tear. The daycare was really nice. They were able to give him a bath and he smelt and looked amazing. He was so tired and ready for the evening. And that was pretty much our day. Thank you.
This kid's out. Kadian, stay in the car.
Okay.
It's like a mountain. Come here. Let me put your helmet on. Be careful.
She's so cute. She just calmed down quickly, doesn't she?
There are 20 parking spots, but about 30 cars squeeze in. The occupants must leave by 6 a.m., the majority heading to their place of work or to look for work.
Hey, how was your day?
Good day. Good day.
So what you do?
Got some resumes out today and works positive, hopefully. I got a college degree in business administration and hotel restaurant management, but this is my studio on wheels. Studio on wheels, here we go. The reality doesn't really set in.
Right.
It's like, wow, I actually don't have a home to go to. Where's mom and dad? And mom and dad are, maybe alive, but they're not in the same city. So, and your friends, your dear friends that will help you out, you can go take a shower maybe at your friend's house, but you feel kind of obligated, every day, every other day, It's hard to, I have a hard time asking if I can get clean. And I'm a pretty go-getter guy. I've worked since I was 14 years old. I'm like 52 now, and coming in May. I'm thinking about retiring, but I don't know if there's going to be anything left, I'm probably too young. They say 62 to 65 to 60, 70, but it's just there's so many people in this situation that it's not really this.
So I've been living out my car for 176 days now. It's something that I decided to do as my family had their second eviction in 5.5 years. And at that point, I just got absolutely tired. Went away for school, came back to the same BS. You hit your breaking point. Like many other people, I had the idea of if I do things the right way and I show people rather than just telling them what to do, if I actually show them, then maybe they'll listen, follow suit, and, we'll build together like other communities and families are doing because this economy is ass. Yeah, none of that happened, and I learned absolutely the hard way that you can't save people from themselves. Because those same people that were upset at me and saying they will never ask for anything again because I was finally putting my foot down are the same people who have been asking me for help over the last several months. Mind you, they're all shacked up somewhere while I'm living in a car, and yet they're still coming to me and not the other way around. That goes to say a lot about my position and the stress I've been dealing with for many years. So while I came into this with the idea of I'm gonna just pay my bills, live below my means, way below my means actually, and also get away from the family, man, life is incredibly peaceful when you get rid of all the noise. I've spoken about this a few times on YouTube as I've been documenting this and making a series out of it, but now I'm doing it here on TikTok as it's time to start talking about it on TikTok. I decided to do this because I'm relentless when it comes to my objectives. I will put myself through anything and everything to get what I need to get done and want to get done in the time frame that I wanted to get done. And there has been pros and cons that come with this. One of the pros is the absolute freedom that I've had. It's amazing. The cons being not having access to stuff. Stuff is fun. I like having stuff. But as I've been talking about this on YouTube, making videos, shorts, and everything else, the one thing I really need to stress is the fact that even though a person like myself is doing it because I can, there's a lot of people currently in this country, and that number is rising, that are doing it because they are forced to. Since October of 2017, which is when my family got evicted, right after I went away to university, I've lived in hotels and motels before I was living out in the car. And I've met many people who are in similar circumstances that are normal ass people. People that fell on hard times, people in relationships, people that have drug issues, people that are domestic violence victims. Like a multitude of people who fall on all range of the spectrum. Not just the stereotypical drug addicts with mental illness that live in a tent. In fact, the fact that they are functioning individuals who are homeless but not in the street actually works against them, because you become a invisible homeless person, basically. Out of sight, out of mind, society really doesn't care. In fact, here's a little short I made I'm just going to throw in.
Homelessness in Riverside County is rising at an alarming rate. A new survey shows the number of people living on the streets went up 12% over the past year.
One of the biggest misconceptions about homelessness is that it just looks like that in that video, even though in reality it kind of looks like this at places like this, and this. Hi. Homeless man with a degree and a job. Evictions are on the rise in this country. One thing that was painfully obvious when COVID happened and you had the eviction moratorium and protections is that after that ended, and it was going to end, that the system was going to get completely backlogged, as the landlords and corporations were going to immediately file for eviction, as they don't really care about the people inside the places. They just need the land for loans and everything else, right? And two, we won't really see that problem immediately because the system was going to get backlogged. So what it was going to be is a gradual ramping up. But once the shit hit the fan, the shit was going to hit the fan. And, well, the shit is hitting the fan. Like, for example, in these low-income communities, they're low-income communities for a reason, because they're low income. So you're seeing issues like $1,500 rent in areas where people are making about $25,000 to $29,000 per person and $35,000 to $39,000 per household. When you factor in the whole need for 3 times income to be eligible, the person would have to be making $50,000 to even rent there. It's even worse when you're looking at these house prices, because a lot of these LLCs that were normally formed bought houses that were sold for exorbitant prices. They were prices they were not actually worth. It was a $50,000 house, a $60,000 house that you bought for $90,000 to $120,000, and now trying to sell for $150,000. But the problem is, the house you bought for $90,000 to $120,000 is still literally just worth $50,000, because that low income community is still low income. Low income to the point that you can't really gentrify it, because there's a reason why before COVID people weren't moving to them. It's getting really bad out here, and what you're going to see is more and more people living out their vehicles, not because they decided to, as much as because it's the only way they're going to be able to survive. But that's the end of this video. I'm going to be uploading some other videos I already have up, like on YouTube and whatnot, like how I survive, or just some of the things that are made to be uplifting, to show people who might end up in such a circumstance unwillingly that life doesn't end. You can still live your life and everything else. I'm out.
This
They blocked me and took all my money.
is me. I lived in this car for 457 days. What you seen in that video was me at the very end of my journey of living in my car, when I decided that I did finally want to move into an apartment, and I had saved up enough finally to move into one, and then all of the money that I had got stolen from me. I was scammed basically on Facebook Marketplace. That is what that video is, in my car crying. A lot of people have seen that video and they think that my entire experience living in my car was bad, but that's not true. If you were following me when I was living in my car, every day I would make day in the life videos. I wasn't living in luxury by any means. I had a lot of struggles. There can be a lot of downsides. But there are also a lot of positives, and I wouldn't go back and change a thing that happened. Now, the reason that I ended up in my car was circumstantial, but as time grew, I grew to like living in my car. And it wasn't until I had already lived in my car for a year until I started making videos and posting them to TikTok. So once I started gaining a small following on TikTok from posting day in the life videos, there were a few accounts that popped up with my face, my name, and my videos asking people for money. There were accounts getting on lives and telling people that they were hungry and they needed a meal. So then once people started seeing the scam accounts, people started making hate pages saying that I was a scammer. Now this video is not supposed to be about that. It's supposed to be about how living in your car can be okay if you are in the right circumstance, like if you're already living in a home, you're paying rent, and stuff like that. In my situation, I had to leave my apartment. I had no money or anything like that, and the car was the only thing that I had. So it was a little bit hard to build up to get where I was. But once you get in a situation where you're financially stable to stay in your car, it's not all bad. The freedom can be really great. But one thing I'll say before I go, it is disappointing that the people that make hate videos about me and the people that steal my videos to scam people get way more views than I do now that I've stopped living in my car. I love you guys, but it's so disappointing.
Gonna kiss up and rub up and fill up, kiss up and rub up and fill up on you.